This is the Meaning Business Podcast, your go-to source for business tips, advice, growth, and exit strategies, hosted by Coudrey and Peter Spinda. Each episode, we bring you real stories, expert insights, and practical advice to help you succeed in today's market. Let's dive in.
Hi there, welcome to Meaning Business, the podcast for people who are looking to grow, build, or
buy or sell a business.
Sell a business, something to do with business. If you own a business, you want to own a business, you're at the right place. Doesn't sound like it, I know, but you are. And today we're looking at what is the biggest asset? What is your biggest asset? What is an asset and what is the biggest asset? And I guess we want to also think about how you protect those assets. So what is your biggest asset? Is it your family home? Is it the money you've got in your bank? Is it your business? If it is a business, is it the IP? Is it the stock? Is it the history? If it's a house, is it the location? If it's your share portfolio, what is your biggest asset? So for most people, what do you think they would say, Pete?
I think most people would say their home, their family house, standard typical person. If we're talking about business owners, most of them would say, oh, well, if they view their business as an asset, that is, they'd say, well, it's actually my business. Or they might be a bit more particular and say, it's actually my people, or it's this piece of technology we've developed, or it's, I don't know, cash in the bank, or the superannuation that I've got.
Or the contracts I've got,
contracts.
or the future income.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, when they think about assets, they think about their home as being the last thing I want to lose. So I'll jettison the business, I'll get rid of the stock, I'll sell the trucks and cars and the boat, but I've really got a hand on my house. So it might not be the biggest, often it is, but generally I think people would say it's the last thing I want to lose is that asset.
It's that most important asset in most people's mind.
Yes.
And we've talked about this quite a bit. In fact, remember we were sitting here quite a few months ago and we had Hank de Jong from De Jong Reed, and we were talking about solvency and losing assets and protecting assets and really that family home is the number one thing in everyone's mind.
Yeah.
Certainly in business, we're always if we wake up in the middle of the night for whatever reason we have problems, you're always like, okay, how do I prevent losing the house? I don't want to lose the house. It's always losing the house is the big thing.
Yeah.
Which is understandable.
Exactly. So for some people, I would say most small business owners, their business would be worth $1 million or $2 million. And most small business owners, their house would be worth $2 or $3 million these days. So in most cases, the house is worth more than the business. But there's also plenty of people who have got a very big business that might be worth 20 million, and their house is probably worth 3 or 4 or 5 million.
Yep.
So there's also people who could argue that their business is their biggest asset.
Yep.
So regardless, if you think your biggest asset is your house and you're going to protect it to the end, great.
Yeah.
If your business is worth more than your property, then your business you need to really think about how do you protect that asset and what within that business is the greatest asset within that business.
Well, it's about protecting the asset and then also thinking about how do you unlock the value within that asset as well. I
think there's another part too, which is that business is only an asset if it's earning money. And sometimes if you don't have that business earning money, you don't have the house. Or if you don't have that business earning money, you don't have contributions to superannuation and retirement, or you don't have the ability to go on holidays, or whatever it is you want to get out of life. So the business is the vehicle that gives you all the things that you need. So it might be worth less than the property, the house, but it's giving you the house and it's giving you the lifestyle. It's giving you the education for your kids. So without it, it may not be the most valuable, but it still might be the most strategically valuable asset.
That's right. Now, it's interesting because when we assess a business, we always, what are the first things we ask for? We ask
Profit
for
and loss,
profit and loss, balance sheet, anything else. And we look through it and we can quickly assess, okay, what is the situation and is this an asset? Where are the assets and things like that? But this is where I think you and I certainly differ in the way that we think, because yes, everything we've discussed so far is an asset. But the true asset isn't in the balance sheet, is it?
No, that's right.
Not in the profit and loss statement either.
No, exactly right. I think we agree on this. That,
100%.
The biggest asset is either the owner or the owners or the people that work with the owners or the staff. But I would say the owner is the biggest asset because the owner controls the staff to delegate to do things. Without an owner there or a supervisor running the show, providing the vision, taking everybody on that journey, this is where we're heading, then there is no business. There is it's aimless, and the staff don't know what they're doing, and it just survives on luck and good fortune.
So really the biggest asset, putting it in other words, is if you got a big mirror and you put it on the wall and you lined up yourself and any business partners that you have or stakeholders and you looked in the mirror, you're looking at the biggest asset.
Yeah.
It's you. It's you and your business partner.
Yeah, exactly right. And once we think about our business and our life and what the biggest asset is, and it's us usually, and the response, what's Virgin's biggest asset? Richard Branson. What's the biggest asset of many famous
Elon Musk.
Yeah, exactly. Might be a liability at the moment, but probably an asset. What's the Murdoch family's biggest asset? It's been Rupert, and that's why I think he doesn't want to move away. So in many, what's that company that Buffett owns? What's his?
Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway. Yep.
Yeah, Hathaway. That's right.
Yep.
Without him, I wonder if it'd be the same value. I wonder if it's the same company. I doubt it. So, but the reality is that, if we're not the biggest asset, which can be the case, right? You would have seen businesses where the owner is a liability. We need to turn ourselves into an asset. We need to become an asset by either adding value to the business or being better managers of the business or better people, you're creating better culture, whatever it is. So we either are the asset or we need to be the asset.
That's right.
And what Peter and I have been talking about is if you are the biggest asset in your business, which you probably are, or if you're not, you should be, how do you protect that asset? How do you look after the biggest asset? What's important to make that asset valuable, or to maintain its value? And, I remember this old saying that, if you had a $1 million racehorse, you feed it a special diet, you exercise it daily, you have people grooming it and looking after its every aspect of that horse's health. You've got vets checking it regularly and, measuring its blood and its body fat. And, it gives you the result because it's so well cared for. But us as humans, we eat crap, we sit around and watch garbage, we feed our minds with rubbish. We're more valuable than $1 million racehorse, yet we're not treating it. We treat the racehorse more valuable than we do.
It is, isn't it? I think fundamentally we need to ask ourselves a simple question: what does life mean to me? And some of those people that you mentioned, like the Murdoch family, or other individuals, you can picture that person, and some of those individuals you would say a beacon of health, and they're definitely looking after it for certain reasons. Others, they're definitely not the beacon of health. They're overweight. They've got all sorts of medical problems. And I guess really it goes back to a couple of fundamental things. First of all, is business your life, and is it dictating everything? Or do you actually want to have a life outside of business? Do you want to have a relationship with your wife, with your kids? Do you want to do other things other than just work?
That's right.
Or are you in the business simply to count the money?
Yeah.
Is it simply that trophy? And then the other part is, okay, let's say you are in business because you just want the fancy things, and that's fine if that's what you want. I've got nothing against that. But then if all you're doing is working, and then you get to a point where you want to try and enjoy those things, but your health doesn't allow you to enjoy those things, well, then what's the point?
Exactly.
What's the point in having all of that if you can't sit in the car because it's too low, because your knees are broken and you can't get on in and out? And I've seen that. You've seen it where, okay, you've got the beautiful car, but you can't actually get in, you can't get out.
That's right.
So then what's the point?
Exactly. Or what's the point of having millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars in the bank, which you can do if you've got a good business, and not being able to enjoy it by traveling or enjoying a bushwalk?
Or you could travel, but you know what? You're going to be very, very lonely because your wife or wives have left you, or your husband or husbands have left you.
Got no friends.
You got no kids around because they don't know you. You got no friends because your friends are only friends because they're, you're the benefit because you got the cash. And I've seen that time and again.
Yeah.
And this is regardless of age, regardless of gender. It's, we've seen it. And I said to you this the other day, I was at a networking event, and the number of younger men in particular, my age and younger, that had beer guts, for example, that just looked unhealthy. And it's like, well, you're only in your 30s or 40s. You shouldn't look like that. And it's not about the six-pack. It's not about getting a six-pack for the sake of it. It's about maintaining health so that you can enjoy wealth.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
And, I'm definitely not the fittest guy in the room here today, but I know that I need to look after my health, and for my family's benefit, for my own personal benefit, so that's a selfish motivation, for the benefit of the people that I work with and my business, the customers that I serve.
Yeah.
I need to be at my best. And there's no doubt, Pete, you would know this better than anybody. When you are healthy and you're sleeping well and you're eating well and you're exercising, when you're at that peak state, you're able to think better, you're able to have more energy to do what you need to do. There's three things you need to be good in business or life, I think: energy, focus, and belief. And if you don't have the energy, you can't, the focus and the belief don't matter. We've got to give ourselves that energy. And it's not just about exercise or diet. I think it's also about managing your time, so you're not working all the time. You are walking, or you're meeting with people, or you're socializing, and
doing non-business stuff.
Yeah. You can still be thinking about business. Yeah. You can be walking and listening to a podcast, or you can be socializing with people in business.
But you're not in it.
Yes, exactly.
You're not, ingrained.
No, but I think and this is the thing, we haven't spoken about this, but I think one of the healthiest things you can do to look after your greatest asset, which is you, is to have hobbies and passions outside of business. In your case, adventuring. But it doesn't matter if it's stamp collecting.
In your case, motorsports.
Yeah, exactly. Something as simple as going to Cars and Coffee for me is something I really look forward to. And I think it's a really good thing for me and people like me. And, it doesn't matter what it is. You could be going to the football or playing golf. But to have that interest and that passion outside of business is definitely healthy.
Very much so. What it also does is it sets you up because you've got a better asset in yourself. So better mind, better body, all of that. The other thing that it does is when you've got tough periods in business, if you've got other things that can motivate you, other things that you can look forward to, other people around you who can support you up, all of a sudden you're actually better able to ride through the challenging situations. You're able to come through, and health allows you to be stronger mentally. Health allows you to really ride through those periods where you have to be active, whether it's getting on the road and traveling for a week or two. I mean, traveling is so draining and exhausting.
Which you and I have just been doing.
Absolutely. And so if you're healthy and you've looked after yourself, you actually have a better outcome as a result. You're not constantly falling apart. And this is where the decisions that we make, and I told you this just before recording this podcast, that while we were traveling this past week, typically people go to restaurants and eat takeaway food. Personally,
because it's easy.
It's easy. But personally, I went to Coles, got half a roast chicken, got some salad, got some avocado, got some nuts, got some seeds. And that's what I ate. And then I got some healthy snacks because I know that if I eat, excuse the language, crap, that's how I'm going to feel for the rest of the journey. Exactly. And I'm tired enough as it is when you're traveling. Yeah. And then the other part is around the fitness side. Quite often I get this all the time. They say, how do you fit in the training? Because I train 6 days a week. Yeah. How do you fit it in? Yeah. Well, the answer is quite simple. You don't have to do 1 hour long gym sessions every single time. In 5-10 minutes, you can get an outcome that is almost as good as a 1 hour session if you do the right things. So when you're traveling, just because you're in a hotel room doesn't mean that you can't go to the gym. Just invest 10 minutes.
Exactly.
You've got, what's the app that you
I've
use?
just been learning this. It's called Muscle Booster, I think it's called. So it's for old people, but it's fantastic.
It's not for old. It's for everybody. And
all ages.
Like you showed before, all you need is a chair. Every hotel room or motel room has a chair.
Muscle Booster.
Muscle Booster. There you go.
But it's actually it's really good because you put your weight. Sorry, we're digressing. Put your weight, your height, your age in there. It gives you not just exercises to do, and you tick it off as you do it, and you say if it was easy or hard, but it also gives you diet and other things like sleep advice as well, which is fantastic. Yeah. And you're right. In 7 or 9 minutes a day, and I'll do more than one a day now, I can get quite a good exercise. And, you realize that's that functional fitness, that core fitness, that's the most low level in people like me, sitting around all day, so it's fantastic. You're right. There's no excuse.
It's the choices that we make.
Yeah.
I was at a networking event the other day, and there was a gentleman on stage being interviewed about his business career, and young entrepreneur, super, super successful. And his current business, which is it's the largest privately owned non-alcoholic beverage company called Lyre's. He started that because he found himself, through business, he was traveling 200 and something days of the year, huge amount, and he'd be constantly going to pubs and bars, and that's just part of the social culture as you're in business. And he realized that he's heading down the wrong path. That his liver's getting a beating, and constantly tired, and all of that. And he told that story, and his $1 billion Lies idea actually came out of that. And he realized that he needed to make a decision. And at that point in time, the decision was, all right, well, you're going to have to stop drinking the pints of beer and having the gin and tonics and things like that every night, every single night, because it's killing you. Mm-hmm. And out of that has come this non-alcoholic product business. Yeah. And what's interesting about that is that globally there is now this trend towards non-alcoholic drink consumption, especially in business. People are starting to realize that you have to put the two and two together. You have to put the health and the business together, because as we live longer, so as we humans are living longer than ever before, what do you want? Do you want to be in your 60s and 70s and have the wealth because you worked hard and not being able to use it? Or do you want to be in your 60s and 70s and living your third life for the next 20, 30 years to have the cash to travel, the cash to eat nice foods, to play with your toys? Which choice do you want to make?
Exactly.
I know what I'm going to be doing when I'm 70, 80.
And the other part is, and this is important, let's imagine you're looking at investing in two identical companies.
Yep.
They've both got the same turnover, same history, same future growth, everything's the same. But this CEO is fit and healthy and vital, and this guy, he's really obsessed with his business, but he's just eating junk food and drinking beer and working 24 hours a day in that business, and he's a walking heart attack. Who would you invest in?
Yep.
Which is the most appealing investment? To me, it's the fit guy, the healthy guy.
Absolutely.
Because not only has he got a better chance of hanging around and being, but he's influencing the culture in his company subtly to sort of say, we need to be fit and vital. We need to be energetic. We need to be focused on not just running our business, but looking after ourselves.
Oh, and you've just hit on something so fundamental, so critical. The word culture. Culture within a business and culture within a family. So the fact is the culture comes as a result of, it's as a result of the leader. Yes, it's culture is the collective of the organization, but guess what? It's the head that then drives everything else.
That's right.
So if you're fit, active, and you have the right mindset, attitude, behaviors, et cetera, your business will have that culture and they'll emulate.
Exactly.
Same thing happens at home. And we've noticed this. So we're a very active family. Our kids play football, and we've noticed
every family has a culture.
There's a culture. But because our kids in our family see that dad exercises, mum exercises, that's our culture. So the kids live a particular life.
Yes.
And so you might be pushing back at this notion of having to eat well and having to exercise. But think of it a different way. What you do in your behaviors, if you've got kids, they're going to be mini you. In most cases, they emulate what the parents
do. Or at least they'll see the benefit.
Yeah.
So the thing about culture, I'm starting to believe this sort of form this theory that it's the head. It's about what they won't accept and what they will accept. It's about the head of that family's standards. So if your standard is you can just eat food anywhere and we don't have to sit at the table and eat together, that's your standard. That's creates your culture. If your standard is we must all sit at the table and no phones, put the phones in a bowl. I pointed over there because there's a bowl there. We put the phones in now. That's your culture. That's your standard, which creates the culture. So it's important, and same with your body. Now my standard is that I want to be 83 or less kilos. I want to be able to do certain things, lift certain weights and that sort of stuff. So that's my standard. So therefore it creates my behavior and culture. And I think, I am my greatest asset. I am the most important asset to my wife and to my family and to my business. So I need to look after myself. And I know that's not easy. And I know I can find excuses. I can get home, say I'm tired, but that's not good enough. You need to have a standard.
That's right.
Not good enough.
You have to be, and this is probably one of the rare moments in life where I believe we can truly be selfish and we can allow ego a little bit of space to play. You've got to be willing to look in the mirror and be selfish and go, no, today I'm not going to do that because it's not in my best interests, whatever it might be.
Exactly.
Sometimes in business it is,
Yeah.
you know what? I need a day off today.
Yeah.
And you have a full day off and I'm going to go and play golf. I'm going to go play tennis. I'm going to do something else because I need it. Or I'm going to take a day out because my wife needs me. They need my energy. The business can wait. So sometimes we've got to be selfish. The other part of selfishness, and this is really important to understand, is that selfishness to an extent allows you to become a better delegator. Because if all you're doing is going, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, I'm the best. And that's, again, it goes back to ego. Everything comes to me.
Yeah.
You're going to get burnt out.
That's right.
And it's never going to be ideal.
So, yeah, I don't think it's selfishness at all. I think it's just looking after your greatest asset.
Yeah.
So if you imagine, that racehorse analogy, you're not going to flog your racehorse and make it plough the fields and carry and run every day.
And then expect it to perform.
That's right. You're going to give it a rest. You're going to look after it. You're going to massage it.
Well, I say selfishness because the external person might look at it and go, oh, but you're just looking after yourself.
Yeah, self-indulgence.
So it's self-indulgence. But in fact, it's allowed because you have to allow yourself those moments. And as a leader,
that's part of looking after the asset.
That's right. But as a leader, people expect that. People, like you said, people want you healthy. They want you to rock up and be a strong leader, to be decisive. And importantly, they want you to be able to delegate and trust them to be able to do the things without you being micromanagerial. The only way you can do that is if you're comfortable with yourself.
Yeah.
And if you're comfortable with, knowing that maybe you don't know everything and you're still on this journey of building your body, building your knowledge, and building yourself up.
Yeah. But I think there's many assets in our world. It could be our home, could be our wife, could be, the family, could be, but our health and our wellness, physical and mental, and a healthy lifestyle is really important to getting the best out of life and getting the best out of our business.
Very, very much so. So I can tell you now that in, 40 years time, in my 80s, I will still be exercising. I don't care what it looks like. There's still going to be exercise. I remember my grandmother, even to the weeks before her death, she exercised every day. Just, it doesn't matter what it is. The point is you're moving.
Yeah.
Both the body and the mind, whether it's crossword puzzles, whether it's Sudoku or whatever it might be.
Just talking to other people. Yeah.
So I know I'm going to be doing that for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And I also know that when I sit down and have a conversation with my wife in 40 years' time, we'll still have a loving and caring relationship and my kids will know me. Why? Because I've committed to that. It's not all business.
Yeah.
Still live a comfortable, happy life.
Yes. So I think on that note,
we can wrap it up and
have
a think of your situation.
Yeah.
Reflect on this.
Yes.
And challenge yourself and be willing to truly, truly reflect on it and be truly honest with yourself. Are you living a healthy life? Are you putting yourself first? Are you looking after yourself? Are you giving yourself the excuse that I don't have time to exercise when 5 minutes is all you need to do? Are you giving yourself the exercise that, I have to rush and therefore I have to eat takeout food?
Yeah.
Challenge yourself, challenge those notions, and we can guarantee you look after yourself, you'll live a much more fulfilling and happy life.
Yeah. So let's protect our greatest assets.
Sounds good. Thanks, Bruce. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, and the lights went off.
Wow. You're saving power.